I would like to show you another game from this book because, you know, guys, when I see a lot of games collected in a book, I generally go for the names I know. In this case, I didn't remember that Rejewski Samuel, a very top player of the 1950s, 60s, was at the Interzonal of 1970. He made a very bad result because from what I see in the table he came 17 out of 24 players, while Fischer actually dominated the entire tournament because, as you can see, he finished 18 and a half, so 3.5 points above whatever the other players were doing. Why I want to show you this game? Because also this game is finished like in 30 moves, so he clearly outplays Rejewski in a manner that wouldn't have been possible 20-25 years earlier, probably, right? So Rejewski is white, Fischer is black. d4, knight f6, c4, c5, wow, knight f3, c takes d4. Here the opening has been called English opening. When I played c5 I thought they were going into a Benoni, but clearly Rejewski didn't want to go there. Knight takes d4, e6, knight c3 and bishop b4. e3 is kind of dubious. It seems one of Rejewski's weaknesses were always the opening. Benko complained that one day they studied the openings all day long. In the evening he wasn't remembering anything. So that was obviously terrible, right? Knight e4, queen c2, and knight takes c3, b takes c3, and bishop e7. Here the game is very annotated lightly, so we are just watching the game. Bishop e2, castle, castle, a6. So he wants to avoid that white jump on b5, right? f4, d6, f5, e takes f5, knight takes f5, and bishop takes f5. Wow, interesting. Queen takes f5. Why do I say interesting? Because generally we want to keep the bishop pair. Instead, here Fischer gave it up without problems. Notice also that we are at move 14 and white still has to develop this one, black still has to develop this. The pawn structure, it's really terrible for white. He has one isolated pawn, two double isolated pawns, another isolated pawn here that is also blocking the bishop c1 from coming out, right? Now the interesting thing is that Fischer plays knight d7, so not knight c6. Bishop f3, queen c7, so he starts to pile up maybe the pieces for attacking the isolated pawns that are not protected. Rook b1, rook a b8, removing the rook from the diagonal. Bishop d5, attacking 3 times. Knight f6, bishop a3, attacking d6, and rook f e8. As you can see, grandmaster level player, they take away the pieces from the line of fire, right? That's kind of important. And now Rejewski make a move that is not so good. It makes queen d3. It seems it was better to play queen f4, making it more difficult for black to take away the bishop pair to white. So queen d3, not so good. Knight takes d5. So as you can see, do you understand why, right? Queen f4, because if he plays this, I take and give check. So that's the problem. Instead, with queen d3, he takes right away and he doesn't care. C takes d5, b5, e4, bishop f8, rook b4, rook e5, c4, rook b e8, c takes b5. As you can see, Fischer decided that it's impossible to keep it on there, and so gives it up. A takes b5, king h1, so taking it out from the line of fire, or possible check that would attack this and the king at the same time, right? If the queen a7 check. So that's why. Okay, queen e7, queen takes b5. Also Rejewski realized e4 is a lost cause. Rook takes e4, rook takes e4, queen takes e4, queen d7, queen f4, beautiful move, right? You take and there is checkmate after. Now white makes a mistake, that is king g1. It's a blunder, obviously. He should have played instead queen b5, and this instead is really bad. What do you think Fischer played here? Try to pause the video and find it out. Fischer played queen d4 check. Obviously you cannot play this because there is checkmate, so you can only play this, but then, oops, this is the move that close in the thing. Look how beautiful it is, because that rook is en prie from a few moves, so it's clearly a beautiful game for this final moments. Thank you again for watching. This was the book on Fischer by Karsten Müller, where you find all the games played by the American champion, and so it's nice to see these games at more than 50 years apart, because obviously it's like a travel through time, like a time machine. Plus the fact that we can enjoy also the pieces that Fischer love, this Dubrovnik chess set that has been made in a different version. There is, I think, also a 1950, 1960 version. This is the one from 1970. Thank you very much for watching.